As with most of my angling, I'm on a really short session. I've literally got 4 hours to try and sneak a bite. So I'm using super simple tactics, which I'll show you now. The bottom of this lake is just silty with no weed, but I really wanted to fish the pop-ups but on the deck. So what I did is I drilled out a little hole in the bottom and I applied some tungsten putty. This will just critically balance the pop-up down and enable it to sit amongst the freebies, which I'm sorting out with the chopsticks now. I compact them down in the mesh to make a golf ball size bag and then form 2 overhand knots not to waste any PVA. Finally, I trim around the edges of my pop-up just so it looks more like the freebies, and then I give him a dunk in the really high attract activator. I was only flicking the left hand rod down the left hand margin towards a snag. This also enabled me to break up some of the matching freebies and throw them over the top of the rig. My right hand rod was going to be fishing open water, and for this I was going to add 3 boilies to the mesh, repeating the overhand knots, cutting them off, hooking them on and then dipping them in that mega activator. I could then squeeze round a piece of foam, and as I cast this out, the foam would pop to the surface, giving me a sight marker. I was then able to add some boilies to the catapult and spread them out over the top of it, but creating a nice accurate little patch. That's the rod set. They're not looking the carpiest, but I'm going to have a brew, give it an hour and a half in this swim, and if nothing happens, I'm going to get on the move. The coffee was on and it was time to sit back and watch the water. Right, I've moved already, but I think I might have come a bit too far down, so I'm only going to give it another 20 minutes, half an hour in this spot. And if I don't see any fish, don't pick up any liners. It's only shallow, it's like 3-4 foot deep. I would expect liners if they're there. I'll be on the move if they're not. Well, I've refreshed the rods for the last time. I've changed one over to a wafter, but I've kept the same method, dunking in them little bags of chops, pinging them back out there and then scattering a few boilies over the top. So hopefully this is the one and we can get a bite before I have to go home. Well, it didn't happen last week unfortunately, but I'm back today for another 4 hours. I've seen fish already, so it was a case of rinse and repeat, and the rods are back out and set. So fingers crossed we can steal a bite. Well, we're finally into one. Just cut it down this right on margin. Yes, get in there. There we go then. Nice mid-double common, caught in the 4 Seasons Plus, and just a 3 bait stringer over the top. I've not actually put any bait over the top of this one. Well, we'll slip it back and we'll try and catch a bigger one. Right, I'm really getting amongst a few now. No rods left in the water. And what I've been doing is I've actually started to trickle a few baits in with a catapult. Literally 10 boilies after each fish, and it's just building it up nicely. I'm going through the numbers. Hopefully we can get a bigger one. Not the 20 pounder I was looking for, but a lovely way to end a really fun 4-hour session. Just goes to show you don't need loads of time. Get yourself on the bank. Remember to check out the 4 Seasons Plus, because that's what I've been catching them all on today. I'll see you on the bank sometime.